everyone, it's Shel C from PaperOcotilloStudio, and it is day 29 of the hashtag event from Art Joy of Sharing, hashtag ATCAD2020. That's making a artist trading card every day in the month of June 2020. This is the fourth year we've done this, and so I have lots of artist trading cards ideas in video form on my channel. You can certainly search for ATC a day and you'll get 4 years of it. So for this card, I'm starting out with a piece of UPO paper, which is a plastic paper, and it has alcohol ink dripped on it. And the inks that I used for this were Marabou. I bought the whole set of Marabou a while back and just dripped them onto the UPO and then dripped maybe some alcohol or some blending solution, just very basic drippy alcohol ink background. And I am using scraps from my desk. This scrap is the top of some sort of a tag at some point. There's the yellow one is something I cut out, and that's the leftover. The red is, Bea Grobe sent me that. She says it's what the oranges come in where she lives in Switzerland. She gets oranges in that kind of crinkly, shiny, tissuey paper. That little piece with the bugs on it is an illustration from a dictionary page. I have these die cut stems that someone sent me. Just different stuff that is in my scrap bucket on my desk. This thing that says summer at the top, that's stamped tissue paper. There's a postage stamp that has popsicles on it. This card is all about summer and how much we love summer and the warmth and the bright oranges and reds that I associate with summer as being very hot and bright here in Arizona where I live. So this card is all the colors to me that say summer, summer, summer. So that's where I was going with this card. I'm gluing everything down with a Yoo-hoo glue stick until I get to the thin papers. I'm going to use napkin Mod Podge to do the thin papers, and I do play a lot with a lot of layers of this collage and also translucent versus opaque layers. That's really what this collage is about. So right now I'm gluing down with the Yoo-hoo. I think that yellow piece is an interesting shape. Most of the shape gets covered up, unfortunately, but it's something I cut out and it was the leftover scrap. I don't have any idea what at this point, but just made an interesting shape. Sometimes the little scraps that are left over, you don't even need to tear them or cut them. They just look cool the way they are with their funny shapes. Also, I'm tearing, and then also there's some very linear shapes because of the tag that's cut out already and it has rounded corners. And then there's these die cut stems, which are long and thin. There's two different colors of green, and I kind of layer one on top of the other, creating that vertical line. I tend to like vertical and horizontal lines in my collage. I don't know why for sure, but kind of always seems to happen when I'm collaging. I guess that's my style coming out. I don't know. People say I have a style. I don't realize it. So what's next? I think I'm going to put, I don't know what I'm putting on next. I can't even tell, but I'm tearing something obviously down there at the bottom of the screen. Oh, I'm pulling these are canceled stamps that I've received in the mail, pulling the back off of it, whatever envelope was stuck on it. And then this little funny illustration from a dictionary page. Sometimes dictionary pages do have little illustrations, and it just looks like some little bugs. And I've been seeing a lot of bugs in my container tomato plant. I know we have a lot of ants because in the summer they come into my kitchen, which drives me nuts. And I put essential oils on the windowsill and borax. They're not supposed to crawl. They don't like borax, supposedly. I don't like to use chemicals, so I don't spray them. But they sure do bug me, those little bugs. So here I've gotten out the napkin Mod Podge. This is a type of Mod Podge that's really good for putting on You know, the top layers of napkins or serviettes that are printed, they make great collaged images, decoupage and collage, you know. This also works really great for stamped tissue paper. I have a lot of stamped tissue paper images where I've done swaps and received other stamped images that I don't own from other people and then sent them ones that I own. It's a great way to build up your collection of images. But this little word summer, I don't know. I don't know where it came from. It was in my bucket of stuff on my desk. And it's kind of really, that color of the background and then this little tissue piece that I found are what really this card was based around, you know. There's other stuff on there, but all the things relate to summer and those colors. So there's another little stamp. It said it's a 10-cent stamp. It's got a pear on it. A nice rosy red pear, or I guess a pair of pears, actually. I like to put stamps on these little projects, the tags and the ATCs. They're great little tiny, colorful graphics, you know, if you can get them. This piece of tissue paper is actually stenciled with ink. It is a stencil from Stencil Girl Stencil Club that was designed by Kat Kerr called Mark Making, I think. And I thought it'd be interesting to have a little bit of tissue paper to use that's got, you know, archival ink. When you do the stamping, you do need to use a permanent ink because then when you go to collage it, if it's not a permanent ink, it's just going to run and be yucky. So definitely if you're going to stamp or stencil for future use on tissue paper, and this is just thin, cheap tissue paper from the dollar store, nothing fancy. Literally, dollar store, cost $1 for this, you know, this package that has way more than you need. I think this little mark is interesting. It's like kind of like a U shape. So I put it in a few different places, and it's to balance that word summer is very dark on the right hand side, and the left hand side didn't have anything dark. So it needed to have balance. So that's the reason that I got that out. Plus I found it. I have these little tissue squares and they're in different colors. For some reason, I bought them at the dollar store. They're in the kids section for I think for like maybe making a piñata, you know, using a wallpaper paste around a balloon to make a piñata or something like that. And for some reason, some of the orange ones are on my desk in the little bucket. I don't know why. Also, this label from my brother P Touch label maker, I recognize that that's what it is, but I don't know why I didn't use it. Maybe it was too big. I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm just using scraps from the desk, so I'm going to use that little love word label, which now it says love summer, which I do. I do love summer. So that was actually really fun to find in the little container there. But here's where I start thinking about the translucency of things. You know, I'm playing with the tissue papers and I think, well, that orange tissue paper is translucent. So once I stick it down over these other layers, I'm going to have another layer, but you can still see the other layers, which is fun to do with collage. So I tore a few pieces of it and put it in a few different places. And I think it turned out pretty cool. I like that I brought that color in again from the background to the foreground. And it made an interesting collage. The very last thing I put on is a heart-shaped glitter sticker, which is also from the dollar store. It's in the kids craft section, and for some reason a couple of them are on my desk. I don't know why. I think there's a purple one and a pink one. Now there's only a purple one. And I put it right in the center of the card near the love, which just kind of finished everything off for me. So this was a fun little collage, just, you know, playing around with some layers and some translucency and some opacity and some letters and images, all which says, I love summer. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've enjoyed all the videos for ATC a day in June 2020. I've been making one each day, so I hope you've been enjoying them. If you are, please remember to give me a thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Leave me a comment, or if you want, a question below, and subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on your notification bells, guys, because that's how you find out there's a new video, and that also has something to do with the algorithm where I get recommended more if people have the notifications. I don't know why. Social media baffles me. And of course, you can share this. You can pin it to your ATC board on Pinterest, or share it with somebody that you know loves summer. So I did put some ink around the edges, like I do a lot of times, to make a little bit of a frame and to add a little bit more black balance against those bright colors. And that's, again, just permanent ink, just going around the edges. Zip, zip, zip. That's the sound it makes. And then I'm going to put my cutout on the back in case I trade this with somebody. Has all my social media and my name and where I live, and a little quote on the bottom that says, "We don't make mistakes, just happy little accidents." That's a Bob Ross quote. So that's it for me. Thanks. Bye bye.